Two people out of Worcester are now facing illegal drug and gun trafficking charges after detectives conducted a search of one of the suspects' apartments. Vice detectives, along with detectives from the Gang and Crime Gun Intelligence Unit, were looking to find 33-year-old Timothy Campbell due to multiple outstanding warrants. Then Thursday night around 5 o'clock, they spotted him leaving his apartment with 34-year-old Mary Swenson. Police arrested Campbell without incident and then found suspected crack cocaine on both suspects. Detectives then obtained a search warrant for Campbell's apartment, where they found about 800 grams of cocaine and crystal meth and about 24 grams of fentanyl. Police also recovered an illegally owned firearm, counterfeit Adderall pills, and drug packaging and processing materials. Both Campbell and Swenson have been charged with multiple drug trafficking and gun